Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of every age, welcome to today's matchup of the Carroll Merchants versus the Fort Dodge Jitsa Miners here on the Carroll Merchants Facebook page. My name is Tyler Bruner. I am your intern, aka Mr. Sound, and I have the distinct honor of bringing you play-by-play action here tonight in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Very rainy and cold Fort Dodge, Iowa as it is. As we get going in this matchup here in just a little bit, we will see how long we're here for tonight. The storms coming in through the area are supposed to be picking up here in just a little bit, so we'll see if we have some action here tonight, but we'll get started in just a little bit. We did have a live stream going for just a little bit here on the YouTube page, but unfortunately we do not have good enough reception out here in Fort Dodge, Iowa, so we're going to bring you the next best thing, the pre-recorded matchup here tonight. Let's go through with some of the notes that I have here for tonight before we get started here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. This game tonight, Merchants coming in 6-11, a very disappointing season so far for the Merchants. I hate to say it, but it is the truth, and we have to speak the truth here on the page. And as we come in tonight, I've seen this Merchants team do very, very good things in the past. Let's see if that good fortune can come into tonight. And the Fort Dodge Jitsa Miners coming in 7-9. And their last encounter here in Fort Dodge, 13-5 loss against this Jitsa Miners team. And a very ugly one at that. The Merchants pitching had a 20 ERA. Abysmal is what it is. The team was held to 9 hits, 5 runs, and averaged a .265 batting average. Again, not a good batting average to have. Mike Wallace had 5 at-bats, 3 hits, and 2 RBIs. That was a superstar I saw from our team for the Merchant side. And, well, the pitching side, as I said, a 20 ERA. We had 5 pitchers that night. We started off with Will Stalder, then we moved on to Brandon Puckett, then Joey Hudson, Andrew Fay, and we ended up with Ryan Booth. So a very mixed bag of pitchers that came out to this game. And, well, tonight, let's see if this team, some of the things I have to watch for, who to watch for, at least on the Fort Dodge Jitsa Minor side, is Drew Demers. He was 3 for 3 last time we were here, 3 RBIs and 1 run earned. And what to watch for tonight on the Merchant side of the game is the Merchants need to keep the pressure on all game long. That's some of the things I've seen. Once they get behind, it's really hard for them to come back in and really score some runs. So the Merchants need to start scoring and score fast and keep that defense going quickly. Another thing to watch is the third base to first base connection. I've seen some phenomenal plays between these two, and, well, once we get into tonight, we'll see what happens as we continue this matchup. Or, excuse me, as we go into this matchup, we'll see what happens with the third base. I can't even talk to ladies and gentlemen. As we see before, some beautiful plays from third base to first base. So we'll see what happens here tonight. Another thing to watch is those simple errors that need to be cleaned up by the Carroll Merchants. You know, there's been times where we've seen some phenomenal hits and some phenomenal plays by this Merchants team, but some of these little errors can lead to some dangerous things seen. So as we get started in this matchup, I'm going to make sure all of my stats are correct. Of course, I'm doing stats again here tonight, so I'll be sure to be back and forth between the stuff. So we're going to take just a little bit of a break. We'll keep going. We're going to skip into the national anthem here tonight. We're going to skip into the lineups, and we're going to go straight into action here in just a little bit. So we'll be back in just a little bit here on the Carroll Merchants Facebook page. So stay tuned. And here we go, Merchants fans. We are ready for some baseball action here in cold and rainy Fort Dodge, Iowa. As I said before, as the rain comes down here tonight, we're going to continue ball play. I didn't have time to go grab the starting lineup, but I'll get them filled in as we go. We're going to have Mike Wallace here on the plate to start the game. The first pitch from from Prado is going to be good for ball number 1. Some amazing Merchants fans out here supporting the Merchants fans. Even though it's cold and rainy, we have dedicated fans here. Next pitch from Prado is going to be good for strike number 1. And a new pitcher, I couldn't get the guy's name right when we got here. It was a little bit of a scramble to get things set up here tonight, folks. So I did not get the name of the pitcher. He is wearing number 16 for the Fort Dodge Jitsa Miners. Just know his last name, unfortunately. Next pitch from Prado, 1-1, almost going to hit Mike Wallace. That's going to be brought up ball number 2. And again, Merchants fans, this pre-recorded matchup here tonight brought to you by Johnson Communications, They hooked us up with this amazing gear here tonight so we could record this matchup and get it to you as quick as possible. This hit from Mike Wallace is going to get over to the second baseman, and he is out. Derek K to Jamie Young connection there for out number 1 for the Merchants. So here comes Andrew Fay to the mound, or to the plate here. To start off this matchup. 1 out already recorded for the Merchants. And this is the thing that I've been saying throughout these road games is some of the things that has been difficult for the Merchants is hitting. They haven't been able to get the ball on their bats or anywhere. Had a couple of good plays last time here. I believe they had full bases loaded a couple of times, but nothing too extraordinary. Pitch from Prado is going to be way outside to the left. Almost into the next day. Going to bring up ball number 1. And hopefully this view is good enough for you guys. We are as far back as we can be from home plate. So we got a little bit of a wider angle here tonight. That's going to be swung on and missed by Andrew Fay. That's going to bring up strike number 1. Andrew Fay now faced with a 1-1 situation here tonight. And Andrew Fay, maybe we'll see him on the mound here tonight as we continue this matchup. And Parado is going to throw ball number 2 here. As I was saying, Andrew Fay, not a stranger to get up on the mound from time to time. We've seen him a couple times, even at home, throw some fireballs. But we'll see what he's playing here tonight. Again, I did not have time to grab the starting lineup for tonight. Pitch from Parado is going to be swung on and back over to foul ball territory. That's going to bring on strike number 2 for Andrew Fay here in this matchup tonight. And the rain looks like it's just coming down in little sprinkles here tonight, so we'll keep you updated on that. And of course, probably the length of this program will probably dictate how long the game actually went. Nick pitch from Prado is going to be swung on and going to be popped up to left field. It's going to be out of here. The third baseman, Jackie Jimenez, throwing his leg up. Wanted to grab that ball, but could not. So the 2-2 count now for Prado and Andrew Fay. No one on base quite yet for the Merchants. Prado going to take his time, and here comes a 2-2 pitch. That's going to be swung on back to foul ball territory. Foul ball number 3 for Andrew Fay. Still going to be a 2-2 count. Again, fans, sorry we couldn't get the live stream up and going here tonight. We try our best every single time we can. We test everything before it goes up, and we let you guys know prior to the game starting if we're going to have a live stream or not. That curveball is going to be swung on back to foul ball territory again. Foul ball number 4 in a row for Mr. Andrew Fay. Again, the most interesting place we're in here tonight. We are broadcasting here tonight in a shed, it looks like. A very cool aesthetic, but we'll take it. That's going to be chopped up. That's going to be a pop-up fly to infield, and that'll be caught by number 18, Jackie Jimenez, all the way from third base. Good hustle by Jackie Jimenez to get there from the infield. So here comes up Nick Supel here for tonight. So hopefully my lineup is right, because since last time, Mike Wallace, Andrew Fay, Nick Supel, we might have, it looks like Ben Berg up next, but Berg already has his catching gear on tonight. And now Prado faced with 2 outs here. A little too high. It's going to bring up ball number 1. Supel and Prado, this matchup with 2 outs. 1 ball recorded. Next pitch from Prado is going to be good for strike number 1. What a fastball by Prado here tonight. We've seen a couple of these. If you guys have been following the news in the Pioneer League, we've had a couple of individuals actually go into the professionals. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. That will hit Nick Supel right in the shoulder blades, and that'll get him to first base. Don't always like to see that. Nick Supel taking it like a champ, getting over to first base, but oofda. Ben Berg going to take his time to take off his catching gear here tonight and going to step his way onto plate. Ben Berg was not too easy about getting up to plate here in the top of the first inning, but here he is ready for battle. And we'll adjust the camera after our first little mini break. We'll move it just about to first base. We'll move it around here in a little bit. But again, Parado. The 0-0 pitch is just going to be hit on over to foul ball territory. And that's going to bring up strike number 1. And I have seen Ben Berg. He is the hometown hero for Carroll, Iowa. Of course, originally from Carroll, Iowa. A phenomenal player so far this season. He's riding off the back of some really good Merchants players. But, ooh, and that's going to be strike number 2 for Ben Berg here, top of the first inning. But I've seen Ben Berg shine from time to time, and he's a really great guy to talk to as well. I've talked to him from time to time. Not too many times, but nonetheless, the hometown hero looking to get something going here in Fort Dodge. 0-2 count going to be thrown back over to first base. And Nick Supel quick enough to get back to first base safely. Here comes the pitch from Prado. It's going to be chopped on back over to foul ball territory. Count still counts 0-2. With 2 outs, the Merchants on the doorstep of being brought into the defense early here tonight. And now Prado here with the pitch. Outside, that's going to hit the tip of his bat. An unfortunate one. Would have liked to bring up ball number 1, but will not. So it looks like after this, we will have Brandon Larkin up to bat. I don't see who's in the hole. I don't think, we don't know yet. In my lineup, we do have Tate Johnson in the hole, but we'll have to see here in a little bit if we get to that point. 0-2 count still. Now Prado here with the 0-2 pitch. It's going to be back over foul ball territory. Foul ball number 4 for Ben Berg. Again with Nick Supel on first. I know you can't see him too well. We'll move it over so you guys can see him here in a little bit. And Ben Berg is one of those guys. It's him and Frederick Reynolds that I like to see. Always smiling, always having a good time, trying to keep the mood happy. And, well, that won't make him happy at all. That will be strike number 3 for Ben Berg, and that will be struck out looking, and that will bring up the bottom of the first inning. We're going to take a little bit of a break here on the Carroll Merchants Facebook page, and we'll take a little bit of time and make sure we got our lineups right, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Carroll Merchants Facebook page here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. My name is Tyler Bruner. I am your play-by-play commentator here tonight. And let's go through your lineup here for tonight. We did get the time to, as well. We were scrambling a little bit to get everything set up here for tonight. But let's go through your lineup here for tonight for your Carroll Merchants defense. Pitching here tonight will be Colton Detterman. Your catcher, number 12, Ben Berg. Your third baseman, Mike Wallace. Your shortstop, Andrew Fay. Your second baseman, Ty Hansen. Your first baseman, Nick Supel. Your left fielder, Reese Snyder. Your center fielder, Chase Corton, and your right fielder, Ryan Booth. So we have some very interesting lineups here tonight. Of course, Brendan Larkin not in the matchup. I believe he is going to be playing designated hitter, as we can see. And, well, this lineup is going to be interesting. We've seen a couple of changes here and there. We saw last time at home versus Storm Lake, we had Ben Berg on first base instead of on third base like usual, and that actually paid out pretty dang well, as we saw a beautiful play from third base all the way over to Ben Berg at first for a beautiful catch. If you've seen If you have actually seen that play, go back and watch it. It was a beautiful toss. Somehow, someway, Benberg was able to keep his foot on the bag and catch the ball in the air. So a phenomenal play by Mr. Benberg, the hometown hero. And let's see what kind of damage he can do here tonight. As we talked a little bit before the game started here tonight, this Merchants team needs to be red hot on defense. Their pitching needs to be perfect. Their catching, their plays, they need to be perfect here tonight if they want to get the W. This first pitch from Colton Detterman, wowie zowie, is way too high, almost high enough to touch the moon. That's going to bring up ball number 1 here. Not the kind of start you wanted a young pitcher to have tonight, but nonetheless, ball number 1. Now Colton Detterman going to wind up for pitch number 2. That's going to be good for strike number 1. That's a touch better from the young pitcher. Goodness. I think we saw the exact same thing when Storm Lake had their pitcher, Doug Barker, threw just a wild pitch to start off, but then of course, he cleaned up after a little bit. That's going to be fouled on back to the wall. It's going to smack it. Going to bring up strike number 2 for number 4, Nate Dolman. Nate Dolman tonight playing shortstop. As Colton Detterman is going to pitch again. That's going to be a little bit low for the umpire. It's going to bring up ball number 2. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this Merchants team is desperate for a win here tonight against Fort Dodge. Not able to rattle off a win for quite a while, and they're looking for one here tonight. That's going to be hit to the ground by Dolman. That's going to bring up another foul, but keep the count at 2 apiece. The 2-2 count now with no outs in the bottom of the first inning. We are still scoreless. Now Colton Detterman. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be low yet again. It's going to bring up a full count for Mr. Detterman and the defense. Nate Dolman stepped back up the plate, ready for the full count pitch. Now Colton going to take his time, and here it comes. That's going to be swung on and missed. What a good pitch by Mr. Colton Detterman. That's going to be a good strikeout swinging for Colton Detterman. It's going to bring up the first out for this Merchant team. Here comes up Peyton Krugler up to the plate. What an interesting name, Peyton Krugler. Reminds me of the infamous horror movie villain, Freddy Krueger. First pitch from Colton Detterman. It's going to be ball number 1. Let's see if Peyton Krugler is going to be in the nightmares tonight for the Merchants. See if we can get him going for the Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners. Detterman looking to crush those dreams. That will not be swung on. That will be just ball number 2. Again, as we said before, this Merchants team needs to get out quick and fast if they want to win this game. Next pitch, going to be way outside. Detterman kind of a little sad about that one. That's going to bring up ball number 3. Detterman going to take some time. And now here comes the pitch. That's going to be chopped back over to foul ball territory. Almost over to the first baseman coach for the Gypsum Miners. It's finally going to bring up strike number 1 for Colton Detterman and the defense. Now next pitch from Detterman going to be a little bit high, and that's going to walk Krugler to first base. An unfortunate turn of events for Mr. Colton Detterman. Now here comes up Jose Guillen Jr. Last time we were here, he did hit a home run off this Merchants team to left field. And Guillen Jr. is going to look to keep that streak alive here. So as Guillen Jr. stepped up to the plate, Detterman's going to look over to first base. Make sure he's nice and safe. Pitch from Detterman. That's going to be chopped over to left field. That's going to be in between Fay and Wallace. That's going to advance the batters. A nice base hit for Jose Guillen Jr. So now we're going to bring on Eduardo Niguera to the plate. And Guillen Jr., or Niguera, excuse me, very nice. Last time he was here, he had 5 of 3. Last time that they were here and the Merchants played him. And this is the kind of situation that I was almost fearing here tonight, as Detterman and the Merchants defense find themselves with 2 runners on base. Guillen Jr. on first, Peyton Krugler on second. And Colton Detterman needs to keep his mind set on getting these next 3 strikes. Pitch from Detterman is going to be low to the ground. Ben Berg going to make sure Krugler stays at second. Of course, that will be ball number 1 as it hit the ground. I will say, though, these catchers for the Carroll Merchants, whether it be Ben Berg or Nick Supel, have done phenomenal jobs. I will say at keeping the ball in their gloves or relatively close to themselves, because as we've seen before in these road games, that's what's costed the Merchants, is either a wild pitch or a pitch that's lost by the catcher. So Ben Berg here tonight looking to keep the defense awake and make sure that he keeps that ball in the glove no matter if it's a ball or a strike. Speaking of balls and strikes, Colton Detterman throws another ball. It's going to bring up the 2-0 count. And all Merchants fans, we will be back with you tomorrow for a live game. Yes, we will have a live game tomorrow versus Bancroft. Patrick Detterman, that's going to be chopped out over the right field, and that will be caught. A very nice grab by Ryan Booth. That's going to be thrown in, and that will advance Guillen Jr. to first. And that will be, yes, so Niguera will be out, and that will advance the, that will keep the 2 on base. Trying to figure out what happened. I'm like, well, I kind of know. It looked like they had swap bladders, but no, those 2 will be held up at first, at second. Guillen Jr. again on first, and Krugler on second. That's going to bring up Jackie Jimenez. Had a home run against this team, this Merchants team, but not too successful, which is good. 2 outs now for the Merchants, as Colton Detterman throws an absolute heater. That's going to be strike number 1. And as we are very close to these players, we're going to keep a little bit quiet. We don't want to be too loud because we want to keep their composure set, and we want to be as respectful as we can for these players. Pitch from Detterman. That's going to be popped up and out of here. That's going to bring up foul ball, but strike number 2. And excuse me for coming into the frame there. I needed to see where the ball was going. Detterman going to look over to second base. Next pitch. That's going to be, that's going to be counted. Oh, goodness. Jimenez not too happy about that one. That's going to be strike number 3 as Colton Detterman retires this Gypsum Miners team. Very, very good showing so far by the Carroll Merchants, keeping this Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners team at bay. And we are still scoreless here tonight. I don't know what that was. Oh, goodness. But we are scoreless coming into the second inning. We're going to take a quick break here on the Carroll Merchants Facebook page. I'm going to pull up our commercials that we have here for you. Of course, these video clips of our corporate and program sponsors. So we want to give a big thank you to all of you program sponsors, corporate sponsors, and game day sponsors for supporting Carroll baseball. We'll be back in 30 seconds after a word from our corporate sponsors.
The 2019 Merchant corporate sponsors are Sparky's One Stop, Anytime Fitness, Ike Allen Distributing, Merchant Park Concession, Culver's, Giant Seeds, Pit Stop Auto Wash, Platinum Fitness. And now, on to the broadcast booth.
And welcome back, Merchants fans, to the Carroll Merchants Facebook page for the matchup between the Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners and the Carroll Merchants. This pre-recorded matchup is brought to you by Johnston Communications. For all your communication needs, head on over to Johnston Communications. They are lovely individuals and hooked us up with all this amazing gear so we can bring you Merchants baseball wherever we are. We'll, of course, try to get as many live games as we can in. If not, we, of course, pre-record these games and upload them to as many places as we can. Usually it is a Facebook page. There's a lot of people that like us. And by the way, we want to thank you fans for 2,000 likes on our Facebook page. An incredible milestone that we didn't even think we could reach this season, but we're so thankful that all of you have liked the page and followed us this far throughout the season. We have one more month of baseball action, so stick with us. We have some more amazing action coming for you. So as we're going to bring on number 6, looks like the designated hitter for tonight, Brendan Larkin. He will be coming up to the plate. And I'll, of course, see who we got at the next position. We have number 14, Ryan Booth, looks like, on deck. I cannot see who's in the hole. I'm not sure, but we do have number 14, Ryan Booth, up to bat after Mr. Brendan Larkin. Again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are scoreless heading into the top of the second inning. This hit from Brendan Larkin is going to be over to left field, and that will not be caught by Jackie Jimenez. Instead, we'll go to foul ball territory. So now Larkin going to take his time. Sorry about that, just adding our little graphic down there. Of course, coverage brought to you by Justin Communications. Next pitch from Fort Dodge is going to be good for strike number 2. So Prado making very quick work of this Merchants team. This is not what needed to happen. These Merchants have faced very, very good pitchers throughout their journey so far this summer. Pitch from Prado is going to be swung on and missed by Brendan Larkin, unfortunately. Like I said, that's going to bring up number 14. So now Ryan Booth going to come up on next for the Merchants. And as I was saying, this Merchants team has faced very, very good pitchers. Some of them throwing in the lower 90s. And some of those pitchers, well, getting drafted by professional teams. So I do not blame this Merchants team for having troubles batting. That's going to be a curveball. That's going to be outside of the batter's box for ball number 1. Now Prado with a 1-0 count. Here comes a pitch. That's going to be swung and missed by Ryan Booth. Some of these judgments by the Merchants are a little harsh, as obviously way outside of his range. We'll bring up strike number 1. 1 out already here. Ryan Booth going to step back up the plate, and we'll get this going. Scoreless thus far here in the top of the second inning. Piston Prado is going to be outside yet again. Good for Ryan Booth not to swing at that one. Again, 14, Ryan Booth up the plate. Going to take his time, and here comes the next pitch from Prado. That's going to be hit on back to foul ball territory. Ooh, and it's going to smack something back there behind us. Going to bring up strike number 2. And just as I thought the rain was going to hit us pretty hard, it has stopped here in Fort Dodge. So thankfully we get to commentate some action here tonight. And that's going to be swung on a miss. No, that's going to be called fair by the umpire. And it's going to be thrown over to first baseman Jamie Young for the out. Oh, unfortunate break for Ryan Booth not to see that. So an unfortunate break for Ryan Booth. Did not see that he had a fair ball and was a little too late. Both the catcher and Ryan Booth had not seen it. That was fair and unfortunate out at first base. Let's bring up 2 outs with Krzysztofiak up to the plate. This first pitch from Prado is going to be way outside, almost hitting the shoe of Krzysztofiak. And I've had some time to talk with Christopher Krzysztofiak in too many games. What a wacky dude. He says some of the weirdest stuff, but I'll tell you what, a charismatic character nonetheless, as he hits one out of here for foul ball number 1, strike number 1 for Krzysztofiak. As I was saying, he is quite the animated, goofy character, but you love to see that. You love to see a guy who has a light heart and full passion for the game of baseball. This one's going to be hit on back over to foul ball territory again. That's going to be strike number 2. And if the Christofiaks are watching here today of this pre-recorded matchup, we are grateful that you guys are watching, all the family members who watch and all the host families that are watching here tonight. We love to be broadcasting this game. I love to be here with you guys. Love the atmosphere of the Carroll Merchants. Love to do all this for you guys. That's going to be way outside for Prado. And that's going to bring up ball number 2. Goodness, that catcher, Eduardo Noguera, had a hard time even getting to that ball, but did somehow, some way. Again, no runners on base quite yet for the Merchants. This one's going to be yes, will be a fair ball. Goodness, Christofiak hitting a ball in a fair territory. And that's going to be out number 3 for the Merchants here. So another 2 to 4 action, or 2 to 3 action, excuse me. And that's going to bring up the batting squad for the Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners. We're going to take a little bit of a commercial break here, folks, and we'll be back with more Merchants action here in just a little bit. But first, a word from our program sponsors. We'll be back.
We would like to thank these great Merchant program sponsors for 2019. Bruner, Reinhardt, and Morton LLP. Giant Seeds. Piranha Club. Lincoln Highway Pharmacy. Platinum Fitness. Templeton Savings Bank. State Wealth Management.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Tyler Bruner, and I am your play-by-play commentator tonight for the Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners versus the Carroll Merchants. As we continue action here in Fort Dodge in this pre-recorded matchup, we are heading into the bottom of the second inning, still scoreless thus far. Both teams not getting a good enough look. The Merchants came close, had a runner on first and second, and so did the Gypsum Miners, but both teams still scoreless after 2, or after 1.5, I should say. So here comes up Jamie Young to the plate. We also wanted to say to all of you, happy pre-4th of July, as, of course, tomorrow's 4th of July, and we are on the road versus Bancroft coming up. So make sure you catch us on our Facebook Live tomorrow for that matchup. And first pitch from Colton Denneman, going to be good for strike number 1. Colton Denneman realizing the kind of situation this Merchants team is facing and doing a great job so far. Making sure you don't know these runners get on base. That's going to be swung on and missed by number 26, Jamie Young. 2 strikes already for Colton Detterman. Detterman going to take some time. Going to talk with his catcher, Ben Burke. Here comes a pitch. That's going to be to the ground. And that's going to be back for ball number 1 for Colton Detterman. This Merchants defense doing a very adequate job here tonight against the Gypsum Miners. And you know, adequate, I don't want to say adequate, doing a good job here tonight. Not allowing any runs thus far in this contest. Last couple of times they've allowed runs in the first inning as 26 Jamie Young hits one to left field. And no, oof. Goodness, Reese Snyder sliding a little bit. Thankfully he didn't get injured, but Reese Snyder is going to slide a little bit, but it will be on foul ball territory. The next pitch from Detterman, that's going to be just low, ball number 2. That's going to bring up the 2-2 count now. And right now at 6-11, this Merchants team needs to have some sort of momentum as Jamie Young pops one up into left field. And Andrew Fay with a very nice grab. That'll be out number 1 for the Merchants. So a good grab by number 4, Andrew Fay. That's going to be out number 1. We're going to bring up Americo Luis to the plate to go up against Detterman in his pitching. And I will say this thus far in this contest, it might only be the second inning, but Colton Detterman cleaning up his game a little bit since his prior starts here tonight. I had some questions about Colton Detterman coming in tonight, but fortunately he's answering a lot of those questions and getting straight A's. And again, as we continue with this contest, we had a chance of rain. We had a little bit of rain come on through the area to start off this matchup. It's still a little gray here tonight, so we'll keep an eye on the weather. Hopefully it doesn't get too ugly out here. We want to continue this matchup. It's very good so far. I'd hate to see it get rained out. This next pitch from Dedeman is going to be outside, ball number 1. Now Dedeman going to wind up and pitch again. This is going to be strike number 1. So some back and forth action for Dedeman, but thus far, very good. I don't think we've had the speed gun on him quite yet. Not too sure what he's throwing, but it's got to be pretty good. Ooh, that one's going to hit the ground. That's going to bring up ball number 2 for Colton Dedeman, the Arcadia, Iowa native. The same exact place where I'm from, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we did not go to school together at Weeva High School. Don't exactly remember where Dedeman went to high school, but very cool to see a local guy very close to me starting out here tonight for the Merchants. Next pitch from Dedeman, that's going to be a little too high for the batter's box, and that's going to bring up ball number 3 with 1 strike. And I always got to wonder what the strategy is here for tonight. I'm not too sure who exactly will replace Dedeman. If he is, Dedeman might be, if he continues his good ways, that's going to be too high. And that'll be ball number 4. It's going to advance Americo Luis to first base. But as I was saying, if Dedeman continues this good pitching tonight, he might see himself pitching 9 innings. So we'll see what happens. Here comes up Drew Demers, the exact individual I said to watch out for here tonight. 3 for 3 last time we were here, and 2 RBIs. So he is the one to watch for here tonight. Dedeman going to take some time. Not sure why he's looking over to second base. No one there yet. That's going to be ball number 1. Keeping it calm and cool and loose here tonight is going to be what it's going to take. Colton Dedeman needs to keep his calm and not get too wild. Pitch from Dedeman, going to hit the ground yet again. That's going to bring up ball number 2. Dedeman now, next pitch is going to be way too high. Benberg going to snap up. That's going to bring up ball number 3. As I said before, the catchers for the Merchants here this year, very, very good so far. Nice to get, they usually keep the ball pretty close to their proximity. Unfortunately, sometimes they've lost the ball, and that's cost them some runs, but as of recently, the catchers have been on point. That's going to bring up ball number 4. That's going to walk Drew Demers here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Now the Merchants facing 1 runner on first, 1 runner on second. Potential for a 3rd one to get to 3rd now. We're going to bring up Derek Kay to the plate. With 1 out here, there's going to have to be some pitching changes. Not an individual, just needs to change. Colton Dedeman needs to change some stuff up. Maybe surprise these batters here. Pitch from Dedeman, that's going to be good for strike number 1. Very good strike right down the middle for Colton Dedeman. Ken runner on first and second. Drew Demers on first. Americo Luis on second here in this great game in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Colton Dedeman with the pitch. That's going to be swung on, missed by Derek Kay. I'll bring up strike number 2. A good situation to be in for Mr. Colton Dedeman. 2 strikes, 1 out. He's going to look back over to Americo Luis on second. Pitch from Dedeman. Outside a little bit. Good for Benberg to get to that ball. That's going to be ball number 1. As we continue this matchup, again, we want to thank our sponsors, Johnson Communications, for supplying us with the amazing gear that we have here tonight. Our Sling Studio was provided from them. Amazing individual to talk to, and we are thankful for them sponsoring Merchants Baseball. And that's going to be swung and missed. A good strikeout for Colton Dedeman as he brings up the 2nd out. So now number 4, Nate Dolman coming up next. We'll get him up here. I know I saw his name. Here we go. So Nate Dolman up to bat now for the Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners. As Detterman throws the first pitch, that's going to be missed. Good for strike number 1 to Nate Dolman. That's the kind of luck I like to see from the pitching squad of the Merchants. As Detterman takes a little bit of time, going to throw a wacky one over to third base, and we'll get there. Goodness, what a good throw by Andrew Fay to get over to Nick Supel at first. And that's going to bring out number 3, and that will be the top of the third inning coming up. So the score right now, 0-0 so far after 2 innings, and we'll be back in just a little bit, Merchants fans, with more baseball coming up in just a little bit. But first, a word from our corporate sponsors.
The 2019 Merchant corporate sponsors are Sparky's One Stop, Anytime Fitness, Ike Allen Distributing, Merchant Park Concession, Culver's, Giant Seeds, Pit Stop Auto Wash, Platinum Fitness. And now, on to the broadcast booth.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Fort Dodge, Iowa. Your Carroll Merchants still scoreless after 2 innings. We're heading into the top of the third inning here in just a little bit. We're going to have number 15, Chase Corton, continue our batting squad for tonight. And as we continue in this game, we want to make sure all of you follow us on our social media platforms. We have a behind-the-scenes look at the Merchants players and all of their interesting events they have here this summer, and as well as, of course, our live stream games and pre-recorded games on our social media pages. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube to follow your Carroll Merchants 24/7, 365. We also want to thank every single individual that makes this team possible, the host families, the families of these players, and everyone in between, from the volunteers to the Carroll Athletics Association. All of you make this possible for us to be here tonight in Fort Dodge, Iowa. So thank you for supporting Carroll Merchants baseball. And, well, let's continue this action here tonight. Again, we welcome on Chase Corton to the plate. And Chase Corton, one individual that I've seen so far, always stone-faced. I don't know what it is. Scores a home run, stone-faced. He scores something. He scores 2 runners for an RBI double. So he's just stone-faced. I don't get it, but hey, I commend him for it. Someone who can be serious throughout the whole game might be what the Merchants need here tonight. Prado now is going to miss Corton just by an inch. That's going to bring up ball number 2 for Prado and Chase Corton. And Prado now, here comes the pitch. That's going to be swung on to left field. And will it be out of here? Yes! There it is! Chase Corton, Merchants home run! Goodness, what a smack by Chase Corton to left field. That's going to get the scoring going here for the Merchants, and that's going to be 1-0 Carroll Merchants. We're going to turn me down just a little bit. I'd like to get a little too excited here, but my goodness, what a hit. So now we're going to bring on, looks like number 2, Ty Hansen, to the plate. First pitch from Prado is going to be good for ball number 1, but what a hit by Chase Corton. That's the way to get this game going for the Merchants. Let's hope they can ride this momentum to the promised land and get them a W. So now Prado pitches to Ty Hansen. Ty Hansen's going to swing and miss. Ty Hansen think he kind of regrets swinging at that one, but thankfully no outs quite yet. Again, your Carroll Merchants leading 1-0 after the home run by Chase Corton. It's going to be outside again. And we'll say this about Ty Hansen, a very lovely individual to talk with. Got to know him and his father and mother throughout the last couple of games, and I'll say this after this pitch. from Prado. That's going to be swung and missed by Ty Hansen. But Mr. and Mrs. Hansen make the 8-hour trip from Oklahoma to see their son play. And I have to say, that is crazy. That's crazy commitment by their parents. And Ty Hansen's got to be thankful for them coming up all the time. Hansen chops one over to foul ball territory to the left. That's going to keep the count at 2-2. But unfortunately, since returning from his kind of yucky collision with another Merchants player, Hansen, and that's going to be hit on over to center field. And no, it will not. It will be kind of left center field, but that will be caught by Drew Demers. As I was going to say, since returning to the Merchants after his concussion, Ty Hansen hasn't had the best of luck, but just give him some time. Give him some time to get into the groove of things again, and hopefully we'll see him become a home run machine. Again, we're going to bring on back to the top of the order, number 3, Mike Wallace to the plate. Wallace tonight 0 for 1 already, ground out. So Wallace looking to get another homer. I hope so. That'd be some interesting stuff to watch here tonight, as that's going to be a little bit of a curveball. Good for strike number 1. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we got another game tomorrow in Bancroft as we face off against the Bancroft Bandits in a league game. And of course, we will have the live stream tomorrow, as Bancroft has very good internet, as Prado throws ball number 1. So tomorrow, Bancroft, there will be a live stream. We'll hopefully be on Facebook, potentially on YouTube. We'll make sure we can get you as much coverage as we can of this next game for the Merchants. But again, we have the After 5 tonight. So Mike Wallace is going to miss that one. It's going to bring up the 0-1 count now. So 1-2 count for Mike Wallace with 1 out. As there's silence here tonight in the ball field. Prado going to take his time. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, and that's going to be swung on and missed by Mike Wallace. And that's going to be out number 3 for the Merchants here tonight, as we bring on Andrew Fay to the plate. Both teams struggling just a tiny bit here tonight, as, well, the score is 1-0. A very nice home run by Chase Corton to get the scoring going, but they need to keep it going all game long. That curveball not going to be counted as a strike. It's going to be counted as ball number 1. And in this game, Merchants scoring first, drawing first blood, but need to keep the blood flowing. That sounds bad, but it's the truth. As Prado throws strike number 1 to Andrew Fay. And Andrew Fay already tonight 0 for 1, has a flyout. Pitch from Prado is going to be hit over to right field. A good hit by Mr. Andrew Fay, a base hit, and he's going to get to second. It looks like center fielder, right fielder Peyton Krugler couldn't get to it in time, and that will be a double for Andrew Fay. And again, that was very good awareness by Andrew Fay to see that Krugler drop the ball and to get to second base. That's the kind of momentum that these Merchants fans and Merchants players ride on. You know, usually the times aren't good, so you take whatever you can get if you're a 6-11 team right now. As Prado throws the Nick Supel. Gonna throw good for strike number 1. And Nick Supel, or as everybody in the dugout likes to call him, Soup, comes up to the plate. Of course, it's 0 for 0 right now. He had a hit by pitch on his first plate appearance. As Andrew Fay's going to swing around a little bit, do a little bit of a jig. And as Prado throws ball number 1. So now Soup has the opportunity to get Andrew Fay home with a good hit. If he can hit it over to right field potentially again, it might be good. That's going to be... Ooh, I don't know what happened there. It looks like that ball got back and hit number 24, Eduardo Noguera, the catcher, somewhere. Not sure where. Kind of jolted up real quick. Not too sure. I couldn't get a good look of where it got him, but Noguera will step back to the plate. Hopefully he's good. It looked like it got him right in the knee or something. So that's not a good thing. These balls, you never know where they go, but sometimes they end up in some of the most awkward positions and places. So sometimes you gotta watch yourself as a catcher. Sometimes you can get hit by those wild balls that hit the ground and maybe come up and hit you in the mask or something. You never know. As Parado looks over to Andrew Fay, Supple's going to hit back over to foul ball. Count's still going to be 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs for this Merchants team. And I would like to say this Merchants team is a very clutch team. Even with 2 outs, they somehow, some way get the scores going, get the hitting going. They're back against the wall, so don't know what it is, but who knows. There's next pitch from Supple, and it's going to be low. That's going to bring up the 2-2 count now. So we're going to take some time. Andrew Fay going to take his way off of home plate. We're going to adjust my mic. There we go. Pitch from Parado is going to be hit on over to left field. That is a fair ball. Andrew Fay is going to run back over to home. That will score Andrew Fay, and that will be an RBI double for Nick Supple. Dang, that ball, I'll tell you what, was almost, it was dancing on the line. Now, it looks like a little bit of a ballerina act by the ball, but a very good RBI double for Nick Supple here tonight. And that'll bring up the score 2-0 for the Merchants. This is the exact thing I was talking about. If this Merchants team can get the scoring going early and keep it going this entire matchup, we could walk home with this W. But they have to keep it going all game long. Nick Supple is going to inch his way, going to look right in the eyes of Prado, the pitcher. Prado's going to throw ball number 1. Those are fireworks. Do not worry, those are not good. Those are not what you think they are. Those were fireworks. And of course, it is July 3rd. Pre-4th of July celebrations by these individuals in Iowa as Prado throws strike number 1. As I was saying, not too long ago, the state of Iowa had lifted the ban on fireworks, and they are now legal in Iowa. And yes, of course, I hear them all the time. Do I like them? Not really. Not when I'm trying to sleep. It's not good. And doing broadcasts, of course. Pitch from Prado is going to be low. And that's going to be ball number 2 here. Again, we're going to try to keep as quiet as we can here tonight. Just because we're so close to these players, we want to make sure that they're playing at their A game and I'm not distracting them too awfully much. And Prado going to take some time. Going to tip his cap as Ben Berg on the plate, the hometown hero, looking to be the saving grace here tonight. Get some extra runs here in the top of the 3rd inning. That's going to be good for strike number 2. And Nick Supple, oh goodness. I just missed it, but Nick Supple was looking to steal third base with that one, and unfortunately will be tagged out at third base. So a very good effort by the Merchants. Nick Supple getting an RBI double here tonight to get the Merchants up 2-0 coming into the bottom of the 3rd inning. We're going to take a little bit of a break here, fans, and we'll go back to the action in just a little bit. But first, a word from our program sponsors. We'll be back with more baseball action in 30 seconds.
We would like to thank these great Merchant program sponsors for 2019. Bruner, Reinhardt, and Morton, LLP. Giant Seeds. Piranha Club. Lincoln Highway Pharmacy. Platinum Fitness. Templeton Savings Bank. State Wealth Management.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Carroll Merchants Facebook page. As we are here on this pre-recorded matchup, myself, Tyler Bruner, bringing you commentary action here tonight as your Carroll Merchants up 2-0 against the Fort Dodge Gypsum Miners. They got the the night started off clean in the third inning as Chase Corton hitting a home run to start off the scoring, and it only got better from there as Nick Supel hit an RBI double to get Andrew Fay home. And we find ourselves right here in the bottom of the third inning as Colton Detterman going to continue his pitching duties here tonight and looking to continue their dominant ways. Again, coming into tonight, Carroll Merchants 6-11. They are close to the bottom of the rankings. And this year, of course, only 4 teams are going to make it to playoffs by the end of July. So this Merchants team needs to keep their hopes alive, hopefully. Winning only 6 games this far this season and coming into July, there's a little bit of redemption that needs to be had, a little bit of seriousness. And then I have no doubt that these players have serious minds thus far. But we'll see what happens. As we bring on the defense here tonight, Colton Detterman's going to throw strike number 1. As we have number 8, Peyton Krugler. Up to the mound. And as Mr. Colton Detterman throws strike number 2. So 2 strikes already here for Mr. Colton Detterman in the bottom of the third inning. Here comes the next one. That's going to be a little too low. So it's going to smack Mr. Ben Berg in the face mask, it look like. As I was saying, this Merchants team coming into July 6-11. Not the kind of situation that they wanted to find themselves in, but they do still have time until playoffs to get their record up a little bit, beef it up quite a little bit, and then once they get the playoffs, you know, it's time to get serious. Pitch from Detterman. That's going to be outside it again. Going to bring up ball number 2. A 2-2 count now for the Arcadia native. Again, Mr. Peyton Krugler up to the mound. Next pitch from Detterman. Oof, goodness. That's going to be a little too high. So now 3-2 count. Full count for Detterman and the defense. Got to breathe through this pitch. Here it comes. Way outside, now it's going to walk Peyton Krugler and get him to first base. So now we're going to bring on Jose Guillen Jr. to the plate. Apologies for a little bit, folks. I apologize. Of course, I'm doing stats here for tonight as well, so just trying to get everything ready. So Jose Guillen Jr., Krugler. Dolman's not there for some reason. Who knows? For some reason, my thing put Prado back into the thing. Of course, he's pitching tonight. There's another. That's number 24, Eduardo Noguera, ducking, thinking that was the lightning, but no. It was a firework. A very loud one at that. So again, number 6, Jose Guillen Jr. up to the plate. And here comes the first pitch from Detterman to Guillen Jr. Good for strike number 1. We're going to turn my mic down just a touch here, folks. Sorry about that. I don't want to be too loud, but I don't want to be, too in your face. Detterman looking over to Peyton Krugler, maybe out of spite. Pitch from Detterman. That's going to be a little too high for the ump. That's going to be ball number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in more of my play-by-play commentary, I will be commentating tomorrow's game, of course, on the road versus Bancroft. But I will be doing a home game July 10th. Pitch for Detterman. That's going to be popped up to foul ball territory. And that's going to bring up strike number 2. But as I was saying, there is another firework. Or was that? Oh, no, that sounded like the ball. But as I was saying, July 10th, you can catch me on commentary for the home game. And I'll get you guys. I don't have my binder on me right now, but we'll pull up what game that is. So I'll be exciting to commentate a home game again. But right now, let's focus on this game. Colton Detterman now with a 1-2 pitch. That's going to be good. Strike number 3. Strikeout for Colton Detterman. So a good look so far here for Detterman. 1 out recorded. Here comes up Eddie Noguera to the plate. I'll check and see after this, but My stats are just a little bit mixed up here tonight, folks, but that's all right. Trying to keep on top of that. Pitch from Dedeman. That's going to be chopped on over to the second baseman or third baseman, Mike Wallace. Over to first baseman. Oh, no. Yes. Oh, my goodness. What a chain of events. So chopped on over to Mike Wallace to get to Andrew Fay for out number 2. And then cautiously, Eduardo Noguera got out. Nick Supple